Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. So today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 4, Inca Mummy Girl. So you liked this episode? You've already told me that you liked it before you couldn't even stop yourself before we even started recording.
I did really like this episode. I thought it was great. I just thought it was really well done, and there's a lot of interesting character stuff that went on. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and especially I guess you could categorize this as a Xander episode.
Yeah,
and
I would.
It was good one. It was good. Finally, we get a good Xander episode. Yeah. We still have only had one Willow episode.
I'm hoping there's more coming up. She better get an episode soon. I have a feeling with a new introductory character in this episode, maybe she'll get her own episode soon.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on this episode. I might have to up my stake rating when we're talking about it, because I think I rated it a little bit lower.
I will make you fall in love with this episode.
I liked it. I liked it for sure.
I mean, just the quotes alone, there were so many good quotes in this episode.
Yeah, it was good.
We'll go through it.
Yeah, all right.
I made notes.
Good. Bring the notes.
Okay.
So the air date for Inca Mummy Girl was October 6, 1997. So we're getting closer to the episode after next is called Halloween. And it's the first Buffy Halloween episode, which is a good one. We watched that one pretty often. So we're getting to a really good episode soon. So we're getting into the spooky season in 1997. It was written by Matt Keane and Joe Reckenmeyer and directed by Ellen S. Pressman. So they are back as director. The synopsis is Buffy and Giles are suspicious of Empada, a Peruvian exchange student staying at Buffy's house. When a fellow student goes missing during a school field trip to the Natural History Museum, and a broken Peruvian pictogram cover plate is found in his place. Yes. I don't know why this is stumping me, in the student's place. Meanwhile, after Xander falls head over heels for Empada, he faces certain death when his love interest is revealed to be an ancient mummy who must kill to stay alive. Fun fact about this episode, and I didn't know this because I'm obviously I've said this all the time, I'm doing more of a deep dive, not just watching it. I'm looking up the Wikipedia, the fandom page for each one, seeing all the different references and everything. So this was new to me. The Inca Mummy Girl, this episode was based on the mummy Juanita, who was found in 1995 in Empado, Peru. So I think that's where they got the name Empada.
Got it.
And they were found in Empado, Peru.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that was their inspiration for this episode. And this is the 5th episode with no vampires. So it's been a lot.
Interesting.
Angel wasn't in this.
No, you
wasn't in it.
Oh no.
Okay, he'll be back. No Trilla, no vampires, not even no random vampire lackey either.
Yeah,
a nameless vampire.
I was so engrossed in the episode that I didn't notice that.
It's good. It's good that you don't care that a vampire is missing from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's kind of in the title. It's good.
I think we've discussed this before. I kind of find it interesting when they go off into their
the supernatural weeds.
Whatever. Yeah, other stuff. other than vampires. Let's call it.
Yeah, no, it is good. And that's the thing too. It's centered around vampires, but they always are bringing new weirdness into the show. Mm-hmm. So this is another one. So we have our Slayer opening.
Giles, yep.
Annoyed. Anyway, I'm just okay. So say that. We open the episode with the kids are Buffy, Willow, and Xander are walking. They're walking to a museum. So I'm going to put all this under a museum location.
So
and
this is where I was wrong with your question.
Yeah. So Buffy is having a foreign exchange student come stay at her house.
For 2 weeks. A strange person in her house for 2 weeks. Did your high school do this?
Yes.
Okay. Did you take part in it?
I didn't. I don't even remember it being offered to be part of it. I don't remember saying, "Oh, we should do this. We shouldn't." We didn't. My house is chaotic. I don't think it would have been. Okay. But we did have a girl in I think the grade below me in high school. 1 year in high school, we had a girl from Poland that was there the whole year.
Okay.
Yeah, she was there the whole year. It wasn't 2 weeks.
Wow, that'd be a really long time to be away from your family.
Yeah, it was a private Catholic school that I went to, high school. Just because the other high school was not good. So I had to go to a private school because the public school was not good. So I don't know if it was through, like, the diet, like, if it was a religious thing or if it was just, like, a regular program. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Okay. But, yeah, we did have a foreign exchange student from Poland.
Okay. I participated in the foreign exchange program at my high school.
Cool.
Yeah, so we had a girl come stay with us for 2 weeks. She was from France, and then I went there for 2 weeks, and yeah, it was really cool, actually.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Looking back, I wish I could have participated in it. Like now I wish that would have happened, but I don't even remember it being on my radar. I just remember her being there. That's it. So very cool. Cool. I didn't know that. I learned something new about you. Okay, so they are talking about, as you said, Buffy's going to have a foreign exchange student in her house. She's not super excited about it. Obviously, something her mom was, like, pushing, something her mom wanted to participate in.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's going to be hard. This comes up a little bit later, but it's going to be hard for her to keep up her duty. Slater duty with somebody's, like, a stranger in her house.
That's right.
Even though, like, she has to keep it from her mom, too. But it's one more person in her house that she has to, like, keep up with. You know what I mean? Keep up with the bruise.
I like how Xander likes the idea. He's like I don't remember what he says. Something about like cultural, whatever. I didn't write it down. Okay, anyway, he's like.
Right, he's support. He's like, this is great.
Culture's
culture's coming together and learning from each other, and he's all about it.
Yes.
I like when Buffy's like, "Oh, did you ever like participate in it?" He's like, "Oh, my parents tried to send me somewhere one time."
Yeah.
I can't remember what he said, but he's like, "Oh, they tried to send me somewhere one time, but it didn't work." So that's funny. So and then we see them walk up the stairs to the Natural History Museum. Mm-hmm. And it's about there's like a banner that says like cultural exchange. So I don't know why the banner would be there, but whatever.
I guess the museum is supporting
maybe they're
efforts.
Facilitating it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Once they're in the museum, Cordelia comes up and asks Buffy, like, "Ooh, what does yours look like?" Like, there's a catalog, apparently.
That's hilarious.
With pictures of these people, like, the exchange students. And
funny thing is, like, when I did mine, we actually did have to send headshots.
Oh, yeah?
So you would see. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird to think about it. So, yeah, I guess.
That's interesting, because I didn't know if that was, like, complete
fabrication. We had to do that, which is hilarious. Yeah,
okay, yes. Keep these exchange student information coming. I'm loving it. And Cordy is getting Sven. I think she said he's from Sweden. From Sweden.
He's gorgeous, and he's staying at her house.
At my house. So Cordelia is on cloud 9 waiting for her exchange student, and she's also perusing everyone else. That's
so weird.
I just feel like you wouldn't, I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't be able to. No. Yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying. You wouldn't have a guy staying with the girl student and vice versa, would you?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Right. I figured that's how it would be. What are they?
So then Xander finds out that a guy is staying. Because Buffy's like, "Oh, I just know he's a guy." Like, she doesn't know what he looks like. She doesn't know anything about him. She's like, "Oh, it's just a guy."
Oh, that's right. That's where she...
And then
Buffy always knows. I couldn't remember why Buffy thought it was a girl at first and then found it was a boy. No, okay. It was Xander who thought it was a girl.
And Xander's like, a man with man parts?
Yeah. So Buffy reveals that it's a boy student that's going to come stay with her, which Xander is now not so supportive of this whole cultural exchange thing, because he's obviously still... Do you think it's a protective thing at this point? Or do you think he'd be the same with Willow? Or do you think it's romantic feelings still?
I think it's romantic feelings still. Yeah, lingering romantic. And then because like Willow's even like, "Oh, I thought you were saying it was a beautiful melding of two cultures."
Yeah, exactly. Not now, it isn't. No, I don't want any melding. Nobody melding with Buffy, please. So they're kind of talking about that, and they see a character named Rodney Munson, who is like scraping something, like the paint or something off of an artifact into a bag. Like, I don't even know what he's trying to accomplish there.
His whole character was really weird.
Yeah, good thing he's not around for long. And they notice him, and it's funny when Willow's like, "Oh, you just don't like him because of that one time he beat you up every day for 5 years."
5 years. That make me not like someone else.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'm on board with Xander on this one. Mm-hmm. So Willow goes over because she doesn't think the violent approach is the right way, because Buffy is going to go talk to him. But Willow says, "I'll go talk to him." So she goes up to him, and obviously they know each other. So Willow is kind of tutoring him in chemistry. And she's like, "I don't think you should be doing that." And he's like, "What are they going to do? Kick me out of school?" So this is like, was it What was the Sheila? Sheila's soulmate, the bad girl that she got turned into a vampire.
Oh, yeah. Her name was Sheila. Yeah.
Yeah, like Sheila and, well, Sheila's not around anymore. But I feel like they would be a good couple because he doesn't seem to care about getting kicked out of school. He's a bad boy. He might be an upgrade from Meat Pie. I don't know. I don't know Meat Pie personally, but I am judging him based on his name because we're vegans here. So, yeah, she's trying to, like, talk some sense into him, and obviously they know each other, and she's tutoring him in chemistry. And then they get all, like, the tour guide gets their attention, and he's going to take them into the Incan princess exhibit. Mm-hmm. So they're walking in there, and he kind of tells the story that a teenage girl was buried alive as a sacrifice.
A beautiful teenage girl.
Yeah, a beautiful teenage girl that was 16.
Because no ugly girls allowed.
Yeah, no ugly girls. You know what? I would love to be an ugly girl that time. Like, yeah, let me live my life. Ugly and happy instead of being killed, buried alive.
That was so, I can't believe they did that. That was really creepy.
Yeah, buried alive and was protected by a curse on the seal that she has in her hand.
It looks like a plate.
Yeah, it looks like a plate. Yeah. I put down plate, and then later I remember they said seal, so I started using that.
They sacrificed her, like, all they said was they sacrificed her and buried her alive. Is this like a sacrifice to their god?
So later she says, when she's talking to Buffy later, she says to protect them from the netherworld.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm piecing that together. Okay. That it was, like, to protect them from something the gods were going to do, or protect, something like that. Okay. Or from going to hell or something.
Seems
like
pretty evil to sacrifice a teenage girl and bury her alive for that, but...
Buffy says that she needs to pick up Empada up from the bus station. Mm-hmm. And Xander, again, is not liking it. But she's saying... It's important to note that she is saying it in front of the mummy. She's standing next to the mummy when she says it. Because we find out later that Empada knows all this stuff because she listens. She said she listens.
Right.
Yeah. So she says she has to pick him up from the bus station later. And they just kind of look at her and kind of see the mummy.
Yeah, and then Willow says something about, like, why isn't she wrapped up in bandages? Which, yeah, is interesting.
Like in the movies.
Yeah. That's because she was buried alive, though. They can wrap her up in...
Yeah. They were just like, you can just be comfortable, hang out for a little bit until you die.
Or I guess they didn't want to wrap her after. Yeah, I don't know. That is interesting.
Because she wasn't mummified after her death.
Right, yeah.
She was buried alive. Because, like, when you see, like, a normal mummy, they're, like, there's a... kind of like embalming, there's like a process they go through before they are wrapped up and everything and put in the tomb or whatever. She wasn't. She was just put in there alive.
Yeah.
Okay. But she would she had a natural mummification, which you do see sometimes, right? Mm. All right. So everyone just kind of keeps going and they move on. And a little bit later, I guess, when the room is empty, Rodney comes back and tries to steal the seal.
Why?
Out of the mummy's hand.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. He's like a klepto, I guess. Or he just likes to just destruct things. And he pulls it, and it hits the side of the tomb, and it shatters. Yep. So that's not good. No. He breaks it, and he's kind of like, oh, man. And then all of a sudden, the mummy hands reach out and grab him by the throat.
She wakes up and chokes him.
And then we go to the credits. So we don't know exactly what's happened. In the library, Buffy is trying to talk, while training, Buffy is trying to talk Giles into letting her go to the dance because they're having a dance surrounding the, like, cultural exchange where you're supposed to dress up as a different culture.
She just wants to do this one thing, Giles.
Yeah, she wants to go to the dance, and she is beating Giles to a pulp until he agrees. So he finally does agree and says he's going to go ice his shoulder. And Xander, again, is still, like, Giles says that it's already going to be hard enough for you to keep up your secret identity with this person living with you. And she's like, yeah, like, so I should go to the dance like a normal person. And Xander doesn't like that he said Giles said that the guy's living with her. Like, it's okay. We get it, Xander. We get it.
And then they start talking about Willow.
Yeah, they said they're all going to go together. Mm-hmm. Xander says, oh, you need to come with us because if it's just the two of us, it'll be a date. But, like, they go do all kind of things, the two of them.
Exactly, they do.
Like, I don't know if it would be a date, but that's what they're setting it up for anyway. Yep. And Buffy says, oh, you've, like, basically says, you've never thought of Willow that way in all the years you've known her. You've never thought of her that way? And Willow enters the library and is kind of hanging back and hears Xander say, like, I love her, she's my best friend, but no, basically, I don't think of her that way. And Willow's, like, she's happy at first to hear him say that she's her best friend and that he loves her, but then that he doesn't see her that way, in a romantic way, and you see her face fall.
She looks a little crushed.
Yeah, she's sad.
Yeah.
So then she comes up, makes herself known, and they kind of talk about the dance for a little bit, but then she says that Rodney didn't come home last night.
Yeah, and then they realize that maybe he wasn't even on the bus on the way home from the museum.
Yeah, they don't remember him on the bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they say...
Which is weird, because, like, don't you count heads when people get on the bus?
I mean, yeah, usually. Maybe not in Sunnydale. They're like, oh, we're going to lose one every day on average. So, you know what I mean? Like, as long as we have the majority, if we have 80% of the students, then we're fine. Like, let's just go. We have to get this bus back.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he says, I think Xander starts it by saying, well, what if he...
Awakened.
See, Willow says awakened from her tomb.
Oh, no, I think Xander says maybe he awakened the mummy. Willow says she arose from her tomb, and Buffy says and attacked him.
Right, and they're like...
all like, yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe exactly. This could be something.
Like, oh, shoot, maybe that is a thing.
Maybe there's some validity to this worry. So they all head to the museum to check it out, and they see that the seal is broken, and it's just laying kind of in pieces inside the tomb. And Buffy goes to pick it up, and then while she does, like, a warrior guy jumps out and tries to attack them.
So random.
And I don't know if you've, like, watched Twilight, but I was like, I know that guy, and it's Jacob's dad.
What? It was?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the same actor.
Didn't catch that. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a thing for actors' faces. Like, okay. I remember if somebody in something.
I don't, because if I told you how many times I've watched Twilight, I think you would be.
I was very into Twilight when the books were out, when the books were coming out, and then, like, the last book was, like, really bad, and I just, like, totally went off of them, like, completely. So, yeah. But I've seen all of them.
I didn't mind the last book. I thought the second book was bad.
I didn't like it.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyway.
Okay.
But I do know, yeah, he was the actor that played Jacob's dad.
Okay, cool.
All right, so Xander kind of, like, jumps on his back, and then he, like, looks into the tomb and then runs off. And Xander thinks he saved them. And she's like, well, something scared him. Like, it's like trying to, like, be gentle with him. They say, okay, let's get out of here. They took the big part of the seal, like the main part. There's other pieces missing. And they go to leave, but then Willow looks in again at the mummy and stops them and says, did the Incas have orthodontists?
Yeah, it's just like they were really advanced, right?
That advanced? Yeah, were they that advanced or they had orthodontists? Because the mummy has braces.
Yeah.
And they see that they realize that it's Rodney.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's been dead for like 500 years.
Yeah. In the library, Willow says, it looks like, how is that possible? It looks like he's been dead for 500 years.
Yeah. And
that they said that, obviously they're putting two together, that when the warrior saw Rodney, that's when he ran off. Because they knew something was wrong. Giles needs to translate the seal. So he said it could take me weeks to do it. And then Buffy's like, oh, shit, I have to pick up Impata. I'm late, and maybe he can look at it because he's from the same, like, part of the country.
That's right.
All right. At the bus station, we see Impata, and he's kind of looking around. He's been abandoned by Buffy. Like, he's supposed to be picked up. He's just kind of looking around, lost, poor thing. And then he hears between, like, the buses, because, like, the bus station now is, like, pretty deserted.
Empty. Yeah.
He hears his name, like, Impata. So he, like, wanders over there, and the mummy jumps out and kisses him. And you kind of see, like, his life force start draining from his face.
Yeah.
So, poor
I don't
Impata.
know, if you're at a bus station at night and there's nobody really around and you hear your name being whispered, would you walk up to that? Would you try to seek that out? I don't think I would. I'd be like,
I mean, probably not, but, like, he is waiting for someone to pick him up that he doesn't know.
I guess that's true.
So I don't totally think it's, like, running up the stairs in a horror movie. I don't think it's quite that bad, you know? And he doesn't know Sunnydale, right? He doesn't know, like, he could come from a really safe place. Who knows? Yeah. Like, a really safe area or something. Buffy, Willow, and Xander show up late, and they're like, oh, Buffy's like, oh, God, it's been 40 minutes late. Hope he's still here. And she's calling for him, and then a girl comes out between the buses and says that she's Impata, and she's wearing the same clothes that he was wearing.
Yeah.
Very pretty girl. And Xander is like, oh.
Smitten. He's a smitten kitten.
Smitten right away. At Buffy's house, Buffy is showing Impata around the house, showing her the kitchen. They get her a drink. And they said, oh, have you ever been to America before? And Impata says, yeah, she toured, like, Boston, Philadelphia, New York, maybe.
Yeah. It's funny how she says that.
And she said she didn't get to see much, but her English is so good because she listens. Mm-hmm. She listens to everything. Impata and Xander really hit it off. Mm-hmm. They're just kind of laughing together, and he's, you can, like, tell that they're getting
like an idiot at her, like as if she doesn't understand or speak English.
Yeah, he's like, where did you go?
Drink?
Do you want something to drink? Yeah, like, ugh.
Even though she's speaking...
She's communicating with him fine. Yeah, I'm glad that stops pretty quickly. In the bedroom, Buffy, she's kind of sleeping on a cot in Buffy's room, which is weird because they do have another bedroom. They have 3 bedrooms in the house.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
But maybe they just, I don't know. She's
Because
sleeping in
here's
Buffy's
like
room.
another thing. If Empada was a boy, would he be sleeping on a cot in Buffy's room?
Yeah, exactly. That seems strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, she's in there. She's talking about how she wants to fit in. She wants to have a
She just
normal
wants
life.
a normal life. Yeah.
That her old room was much smaller because Buffy kind of says sorry about how tiny the room is. She's like, my other one was way smaller.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. I kind of like this like discussion between them because she seems apologetic, not just like about the room, but like about Sunnydale in general. Like maybe it's I don't remember exactly what she says, but like it's kind of boring or whatever.
She said it's dead. She said we're at home. She says it's much more cramped and dead. And she's like, oh, you'll be right at home here in Sunnydale.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny because like Buffy, for Buffy, it's not anything special, but Empada is just like. She thinks this is
wow, it's a whole new world.
Everything's so exciting. Yeah, so it's just nice to see that
perspective. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, and she just wants a normal life. So she's kind of excited about getting to school the next day. And Buffy said she'll make a bunch of friends and it'll be all good. And the quad, Cordelia is talking to a new character named Devin.
Another boy, a new boy.
And a new boy. And Sven is there, kind of. He's in the background.
So mean to him. Oh my God.
Yeah, this didn't really pay off for her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because she's just annoyed by him. And she's just so mean. She's 100% Cordelia on this episode.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Those little glimpses of her being like a human, they're not in this episode.
No.
Yeah, she just like treats him like a dog. Like commands him like, come, Sven.
Or like stay.
Yeah, she's like talking to Devin, saying, I'm not just gonna like be there at the front of the stage looking at you all googly-eyed or anything like that. He's like, okay, well, where can I meet you after the show? Because he's a musician. And she says, I'll be at the end of the stage.
Obviously.
I'll be like right where I said I wasn't going to be there. So they depart. Devin goes over to another character, a new character who's a big character in the show named Oz. So we meet Oz for the first time.
This was exciting for me. I didn't realize Seth Green was in the show, so that was or if I did, I forgot. So I was like, ooh, Seth Green.
Yeah, it's Seth Green. Like Daniel Osborne is his name. He goes by Oz. And yeah, he's the reason I started watching the show. He's the reason I was like really into Seth Green.
Really?
Yeah, cool. And that's why I was like, oh, he's on Buffy. Let me see what that's about. And then that's why I started initially started watching the show.
Wow, he catapulted your love for Buffy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he was my gateway drug into Buffy.
Your gateway drug. I really like the way they had this back and forth. How Devin was like, oh, she's like so pretty, and Oz is like unimpressed. He's like, whatever.
He's deep. Still waters run deep is like the thing for Oz. Yeah.
And then he's like, you would be impressed by any pretty girl that can talk, that can walk and talk. And Devin's like, she doesn't have to talk.
Yeah.
Wow. He's great. So great.
Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Oz, I'm interested in this Oz character because yes, like you said, he's deep. Like he obviously has more to him than Cordelia's boyfriends.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're in a band together. Obviously, he said that Oz plays lead guitar.
Oh, yeah, and that should be like a chick magnet thing.
Yeah, he's like, use that leverage as the lead guitarist. But Oz isn't really interested in that.
Nope.
He's not in a band for the chicks.
No, he seems to actually like the music.
Yeah, so these are two new characters we met. Willow and Xander are also in the quad talking about which costumes they're going to wear, but Willow is very excited about hers. We don't find out what it is. And Xander's like, I just don't want to look like an idiot. Yeah. Xander's like, I just don't want to look like an idiot. In the library, Empada meets Giles, and he immediately just asks her, can you look at this seal?
Yeah, there's no...
And Buffy says, like, awkward, or something. Like
you could warm her up to it, maybe?
Yeah, he's like, hi, nice to meet you. Look at this. What does it say? What does it say? What does it mean? She's like, oh, okay. And they kind of make up this cover story that they're looking at this because of they're an archaeology club, which so Buffy is the president.
Right, of course.
And she kind of says that she thinks this one particular symbol, is like a man with a knife, means bodyguard.
Yeah.
And that he guards the mummy.
Against those who would disturb her.
Yeah, and she says that you should hide it because it's valuable. And Buffy's going to run off and, like, do more research on this. So Xander is like, oh, I'll spend the day with you, Empada. I'll, like, take you around school and everything. And they run off.
With her.
Yeah. And she's all for it. And Willow is, like, obviously really sad. Giles is trying to talk to her, get her attention, and she's just watching them leave the library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad.
In the bleachers, Empada and Xander share a Twinkie.
This scene was cute, actually. I thought
It was cute. Yeah, Xander was actually like very, very tolerable in this episode. Yeah, he's like introducing her to junk food, and I love how he says that it has no ingredients a human can pronounce, so it doesn't leave you with that heavy food feeling.
Yeah, that was really good.
Because it's just like chemicals.
She thinks he's strange, but she likes it, which is
cute. Yeah, they're very much into each other.
Yeah, they're cute.
That's cute. Yeah, it is cute. It is cute. I'm here for this.
Yeah.
You know? In the library, Willow is still sad. She's sitting there kind of moping, not really participating in the research.
Yeah.
And Buffy finds something and calls... Well, we'll talk about Willow a little bit more. She says, I can either wait for Xander... I can either move on with my life or wait for Xander...
Spend her life waiting for Xander.
Xander to date everyone else and, like... before he even notices me.
Look her over. Yeah, exactly. That's like... It's kind of sad. And then Buffy's like, good. And
good for you.
Willow's like, yeah, but I didn't make my choice yet.
I was just telling you the options. I didn't say I made a decision. Poor thing.
That is sad. I know. It's hard when you have
really
feelings for somebody.
Yeah. That is not reciprocated. Yeah. We've all been there.
Yes. Yes, we have.
So Buffy finds something. We don't really know what it is. She goes, aha, possible, ha. And then Giles comes over and it's like, oh, yes. Somewhere on the seal, it says that, or he can translate that the mummy is able to feed off of people's life source. So basically sucks the life out of them. Yep. In the bleachers, Empata and Xander are attacked by the warrior guy. He's back.
Yeah, again, he just
leaps out of nowhere. And is trying to, like, slash at Xander, saying, like, give me the seal. Yeah. And then he turns to Empata and says, it's you. And then
she looks taken aback, actually. She's like, what? Yeah,
she doesn't like this, obviously. And then we go to the library that everyone's all together again now. And Empata tells Giles to destroy the seal. Mm-hmm. That if this guy is after the seal... Yeah, if someone could die.
And he's like, somebody already did die.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she says about Rodney. And Empata gets upset and leaves the library, and Xander runs after her. In the hallway, Empata says the investigation is dangerous and runs off again. And Willow comes out and tells... Xander says, I'm trying to convince her that our life isn't just all danger and stuff. And so Willow says, you should take her to the dance as like a date. So I won't go. And you can actually like ask her like to the dance. So you can show her like a nice, like good time. That's not all.
That was very big of Willow. That was a lot of growth for her. That must have been really hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the moment. Like she was just saying, I can either wait for him for my entire life or I can get on with my life. And I feel like this is her. She's like, okay, I need to get on with my life.
And even, like, when he was into Buffy, she was supportive of him telling her his feelings.
She really is a good person.
Yeah. And, like, she said, even though with you I know he never had a chance, she tells Buffy that. But obviously Empata likes him. And she's just, like, you know, she's facilitating this relationship.
She wants him to be happy. Mm-hmm. She has an emotional maturity about her.
She does. She just, there's, like, more than once that she's done this, and she's, she's a good friend, for sure.
Sucks for her, though.
In the library, Buffy and Giles are saying that they need to look for the other parts of the seal, because obviously they think the warrior might have them, but if he doesn't, that means they're probably still in the tomb. Like, they're probably still at the museum. Yep. So they make a plan to go there after they close tonight, which means Buffy can't go to the dance, which she's not happy about. But she's like, oh, fine. But she wanted to go to the dance. In the hallway, Xander asks Empata to the dance, and he says that he likes her. Mm-hmm. And behind him, at some point in this scene, there's a WP sticker on a wall somewhere, and it's like a band called Widespread Panic. So that's a little thing in there. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember exactly which shot I saw it in. Okay. So just a little Easter egg there for any Widespread Panic fans. I need to just go and like listen to something of theirs just so I know what it sounds like, because I have never heard of them.
I thought it was cute how when he was telling her that he likes her and she says she likes him back, that he's like, you're not a praying mantis, are you?
Yes, good. I'm glad you've caught that, or like brought that up, because I meant to bring it up. I couldn't remember where he brought it up. Yeah.
Because poor Xander's like, the only way a woman could like me is if she's a praying mantis.
Yeah.
Which poor Xander at the end of this episode, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know, he had a top of mind, like, are you normal? Are you normal? Are you human? You know, so he wasn't like totally blind that it could be something else.
Yeah.
And Empata goes into the bathroom, and she's just starting to put some lipstick on, and the warrior just pops out in the bathroom, saying that she's must die, that she's like the chosen one, and that she doesn't have a choice, like she has to die. And she says, I do have a choice, and she like grabs him
Yeah.
and takes his life force. So she kisses him and takes his life force. So
It's funny because, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like when she went in the washroom, she looked like kind of pale and, I don't know, tired or whatever. And then after that, she comes out of the washroom and she's just like glowing and vibrant and like youthful and
yeah, her cheeks are red and rosy. Yeah,
Mhm.
I did notice that.
Okay.
Yeah, she comes out of the bathroom and looks like life has been breathed into her. No
Yeah,
pun
exactly.
intended.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And tells Xander that she will go to the dance with him. Now, what I wondered about the bodyguard, because now he's dead, so we've seen everything of him that we're going to see. Was he only summoned because the seal broke, or does he just follow her around the country or the world, making sure that nobody does anything?
I assume he was summoned when the seal was broke.
Okay.
His
Make more sense.
job or his duty is to make sure nothing disturbs her. So I think he'd only be summoned if she's disturbed.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was like blending in with his clothes.
No, exactly.
And stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, makes sense.
And he literally like appears out of thin air, so it's not like
Makes
he
sense.
was hiding. Like we can see him from a corner, like watching her or anything like that, or following her. So yeah,
Like the FBI.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
hanging out. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. In Buffy's bedroom, Empata is getting ready for the dance. She looks really cute. Like,
looks so cute.
This actress is gorgeous. Like,
She
I think
is
she's
gorgeous.
very pretty. And, like,
is.
her, like, hair and her outfit for this, like, oh, very nice. And her luggage has arrived, apparently. And Buffy says that she'll unpack it for her because Buffy's not going to the dance anymore. And she's like, no, don't do that. Don't unpack it. It's fine.
I liked the parallel here, how like as they're getting ready and like Buffy's trying to explain to her how to get lipstick because Ampata doesn't have any lipstick apparently, and like she's about to open, like she starts to open Buffy's drawer but she's not looking at it and it has like the stakes and the holy water in it, and Buffy like casually shuts it, and then like Buffy's trying to like open her trunk or whatever, and you can see a mummy in it, and then Ampata just comes over and shuts it before Buffy sees it. I just thought that was a cute like little parallel between the two of them.
There's a lot of parallel. Yeah, this is all a parallel, this whole scene, because when Empata says, oh, you remind me of the Inca princess, because you're always putting yourself for others, and, who knows what kind of life.
You always put others before yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for catching that. I would have been editing and been like, oh, got it wrong. And, like, what did she have to give up in service of others? And so Buffy's like, you're singing my song, Empata. Like, yeah, I definitely, Empata / Buffy / the Inca princesses stories are very similar.
They ought to make such big sacrifices to fulfill their duties.
Yeah. And they were both 16 at the time.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So, Buffy opens the trunk, and we see the real Empata, like all mummified.
Creepy. In a trunk, just hanging out in Buffy's bedroom.
Yeah. Buffy doesn't see it because the doorbell rings, and she's, that's Xander and Willow, so she leaves to go let them in. So Buffy goes downstairs and lets Xander in. He is dressed like it's a nod to Clint Eastwood's character in the Dollars trilogy, apparently.
Oh, because I was like, I don't know what this is.
And it's a nod to like the spaghetti westerns because he says Italy, but that's not correct. So there's like a lot of stuff in there. So it's like a spaghetti western thing.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, and so he comes in, he says like, oh, Willow's not coming with us, and Buffy's like, okay, this is like an actual date, because like I'm not going anymore. And Empata comes down, and Xander is like, bah, like nonverbal almost, because he's like really thinks she looks beautiful.
Tongue-tied,
yes. And Joyce is there saying, oh, I wish you'd get my daughter to go, until she's stubborn. They head off, and Buffy tells Xander he looks good. I think she's really happy for him.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. I see their like a growth in their friendship, which is good.
So in the bronze, we're at the dance, and we see that the band that Devin and Oz are in is called Dingoes Ate My Baby.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
It's on like the drum head
funny.
or whatever.
Okay, and that's from like a movie, right?
I can't remember. I'll have to look that
The
up.
only thing I know is like I know Seinfeld did it, and Elaine was making a joke at some party where she felt uncomfortable, and she was like, "The dingoes ate my baby," and I'm like,
Yeah, see, I don't like Seinfeld, so I'm not the person to ask about Seinfeld stuff. And I think it's like one joke per episode. I just don't like it.
Fine.
It's fine. No, but like, good reference. Okay, we know that's in Seinfeld. I'm here for the reference, though.
Okay.
Yeah, and the band that actually like the music is 4-Star Mary. It's like Dingoes Ate My Baby. Like that's who is the actual band.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's not Oz and them playing it. Yeah, so we see Oz. He's up there on stage. He's there with Devin. Willow is dressed up as an Eskimo. But I think now the term is Inuit.
Yes, Inuit. And Cordelia walks in as Malibu Barbie.
Yeah. So somewhere from like Tahiti or something like that, but it's very Cordelia.
I was like, okay, cool.
It's cute.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I expect, yeah. I mean, yeah, I could have picked that out of the lineup for Cordy for sure. And Cordy doesn't like Sven. He's following around. He's dressed as like a Viking, like obviously, like I guess his own, like Sweden, like his own.
That's right.
I don't know if you're supposed to do someone that wasn't your not your culture,
maybe.
but
she's so mean. She's like, go get me a drinky, go punchy.
Yeah,
just like
fruit punchy.
And he's just staring at her like, what?
And one of her friends is like, well, I think he's cute enough, and takes off with him.
Yeah.
So she's happy to get
and
rid of
is
him.
nice to him.
Yeah, Xander and Empata come in and they meet up with Willow. And
poor Willow, you can tell right away she feels less than.
Yeah, she's like, looks at her costume, which is like, she's probably sweating bullets in a club with that huge coat
on,
and everything and the hood.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, maybe I should have worn something sexy. Because that Willow's is not sexy.
I know, but like, okay, so I like, Empata really liked her costume. She's like, oh, it's like very authentic.
Yeah.
And then Xander's like, you look snug. And then you can tell she feels slighted by that. I don't know. Did you ever have this? I can't remember if we've had this conversation before or not, but like, did you ever have this moment where you like, when I was a 13-year-old, I think I went to one of my really close best friends' like Halloween party, and I worked really hard on my costume, and I'm not even going to say what it is because it's not super appropriate to say what it is now. Like it wouldn't pass for the, but it wasn't a sexy costume. It was
okay. It just wasn't appropriate anymore?
Yeah, like, I mean, nobody would be able to dress up like this anymore. If they did, it would be like not cool.
Okay.
Anyway, so I worked really hard on this costume and I thought it was really cool. And then when I get there, like all the other 13-year-old girls were dressed as sexy costumes, and I was like, oh.
I was never into the sexy versions of things.
I felt Willow, like I felt her in that moment. I was like, oh girl, I know how that feels.
I don't ever remember having something like that. I've never been super
I hope
Halloween.
you didn't.
But I never dressed up as like the sexy version of anything. I always went for like just whatever. Like whatever costume I wanted to be.
I think that's good. No, you should do that, because I feel like after that party, it just made me want to dress as sexier versions of things, which is silly.
Fit in.
Yeah, actually, just to fit in. Yeah.
Yeah, which is normal feeling, especially at that age. Yeah, so poor Willow.
But yeah, sorry I felt her in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poor thing. Xander asks Empata to dance. So they head out to the dance floor. At Buffy's house, Giles shows up and she's like, we're supposed to meet at the museum. He's like, well, we found the bodyguard, the warrior, and he's dead in the bathroom at high school.
That's sad.
And they start to suspect Empata. And they said, she's been weird about the seal from day one. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like, her luggage. Yeah. She's her trunks. And they run upstairs.
Yeah.
And in her bedroom, they're going through her clothes, and they're like, it's all men's clothes.
Yeah, which is really weird.
And Giles is like, why would she pack this? Mm-hmm. And Buffy, something we didn't mention, which isn't that big of a detail, that once Buffy left to go let Willow and she thought Willow and Xander in, Empata like padlocked the trunk with the body in it. Well, Buffy just rips that off.
She rips it right off.
Yeah, she doesn't know she's a slayer, right? She rips
it off. This is my favorite line, actually. She opens the trunk and she says, what kind of girl travels with a mummified corpse and doesn't even pack a lipstick?
Yeah, it doesn't seem practical. Yeah, so obviously they know like that's the real Empata in there, and she is Empata is the mummy. At the bronze, Empata and Xander are dancing, and Oz sees Willow from the stage and asks Devin, who's that girl? And he thinks he's talking about Empata and says, oh, she's a foreign exchange student. And he said, no, the Eskimo. Because he sees Willow just sitting there by herself, kind of like looking around and stuff. So he's like, wow, like who's that girl over there? Which is so cute.
That's great.
Willow's
I love that scene, yeah.
Some recognition that she deserves.
That's finally.
Yeah, for real. In Giles' car, Buffy and Giles are trying to get to the bronze. And obviously, because she knows Empata's there with Xander. And that she kisses him, she'll take his life force. And
I like
Giles'
how
car.
She's trying to get him to speed up. And she's like, one of these days, you're going to have to get a grown-up car.
Yeah, he has like an old, crappy car. So it's not getting them there very fast. And this, I'm just going to we come back to the car. We leave and we come back, but I'm just going to put it on one. That Giles, they figure that if if breaking the seal released her, then putting the seal together could trap her again. So,
makes sense, yeah.
Logical. And so Giles is going to drop Buffy off at the Bronze to stop, make sure Xander's okay and to stop her from taking anybody else's life. And then Giles is going to go to the museum and try to put the seal back together. So that's their plan they've come up with. At the Bronze on the dance floor, Empada and Xander almost kiss, and she runs off.
Well, before she runs off, though, you can see her hands starting to age.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, she's starting to turn because she hasn't sucked the life out of somebody in, I don't know, 4 hours or something. I don't know how often she's got to do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And another funny line Buffy says before she gets out of the car with Giles is she needs to get to him before he gets smoochy with Mummy Dearest.
Mummy Dearest, yeah. Good. That was a good one.
Seriously, the lines in this show.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. So that's a reference to Mommy Dearest, the book/movie, which is our second Mommy Dearest reference in the show, because when she's talking about Amy's mom, she says Mommy Dearest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we get that again. When Empada runs off and she sees a guy sitting on the stairs and kind of
entices him to follow her.
Yeah, kind of leads him away. Mm-hmm. So this guy's name is Jonathan. We don't learn his name in this episode, but he will be back.
Because I was like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah, we will know him. Yeah, but right now he's just unnamed dance person.
Yeah, and while that's going on, you can see Sven speaking very good English to Cordelia's friend, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, look what I got stuck with. French drink, fruit drinky, he's just making fun of her and being like, I can't believe I got stuck with this biatch.
That was really
so yeah.
I like that scene.
So good for him and the friend if they're hitting it off. Empada tries to kiss Jonathan, and she says, he says, I thought you were with Xander. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't see Xander
does
here.
it look like I'm with Xander?
Yeah, I don't see him here.
Yeah.
And she touches his face, and then her hand is all grotesque. And he's like, your hands feel rough. What every girl wants to hear. Your hands feel really rough. Like an old lady. Ooh, thank you. Thanks, Jonathan. You can tell. Jonathan's not the most popular boy, and you can probably guess that already. So she goes to kiss him, and she hears Xander comes looking for her. So she kind of they stop, and Jonathan's like, I'm out of here. You came with Xander, and you're in this dark corner with me. I'm out of here before Xander finds us.
That's right.
And Xander tries to talk to her to tell me what's wrong. And she's like, I don't deserve you. And he's just laughing. And he's like, you don't deserve me. I love you. So they've and she also told the warrior in the bathroom that she was in love. So they're saying that they're in love now already at this point.
When you're a teenager, those feelings come on strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're quick.
And they have for Empada and Xander. Mm-hmm. So she kind of kisses him.
They start kissing a bit. Yeah. Which I was just I was waiting because I was as soon as their lips touched, but it wasn't it didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think it was full on at first.
Yeah,
it was it wasn't fully committed kiss, I guess. But then Xander does feel it, and she pulls away quickly.
Yeah, it's you can tell he's it feels like his breath is getting taken. Mm-hmm. He's out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she pushes him away, right?
Yeah, yeah. She's like, I can't do it. And he falls to the ground. And he's kind of struggling for breath, and he's kind of stunned. Mm-hmm. And she is trying to help him because she didn't mean to do it, I guess, or she changed her mind at the last second.
I think she didn't mean to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Giles at the museum, Giles is putting the pieces of the seal together, and as he puts more pieces together, and the bronze, Empada feels it. Mm-hmm. She feels the power of the seal being put back together, and she says the seal, and she runs off and leaves Xander on the ground.
So I have a question here. Okay. So she tries to kiss him, and I feel I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel she was trying to kiss him without taking his life away. Mm-hmm. How does she see this going long term? Is she just never going to be able to kiss him?
I guess no, I agree. I think she was trying to just kiss him out of feelings, not out of trying to kill him.
Exactly.
Not with the intention of taking his life force or whatever. Yeah. But I guess she's just not. And also, even if you're not gonna kiss Xander, but how long are you gonna get away with killing everybody else? She has to kill pretty often. I feel
so two people a day almost.
She's also 6, like you said. She's a teenager. She's 16, so this probably isn't all. She hasn't got it all figured out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
She's not looking too far ahead. At the bronze, Buffy shows up and asks Willow, where's Xander? And she said that. Empata, well, she first says, like, Empata's the mummy, and Willow's actually happy.
Yeah, she is.
She's like, oh, well, that's the end of that. Like, I got Xander back. Even, at least this romantic interest isn't going to work out after all.
Yeah.
And they said that Xander and Empata went backstage, and they run off. And as they do, Oz was coming up to say hi to Willow. Mm-hmm. And so they missed their connection there.
I was waiting, like, the whole episode. So they have a connection in the next episode.
So they missed each other. And he's like, and he says again, who is that girl? So he's intrigued by her for sure. Mm-hmm. But he missed his chance. He missed his chance to introduce himself. They find Xander backstage. He says, well, that was some kiss, because he's, like, having problems. And they don't tell him at the time. They said they'll tell him in the car. But they need to get to the museum because they know she's gone after Giles now, because Giles is putting the seal back together.
Yep.
In the museum, Giles is about to put the last piece together when Empata grabs him, and he, like, loses grip on the seal, and it, like, really shatters. Yeah, it really shatters, but not this time. And they grapple with each other, and she throws him into the tomb. So he's unconscious again. Poor Giles. Buffy arrives and fights with Empata, and they kind of like, oh, you're not normal, and you're not normal. Like, we're both been hiding stuff.
And they seem to have equal strength, too.
Yeah, I mean, when Empata is dealing with that, like, top of the, like, the big stone lid to the tomb, she's kind of like, whoop. Like, doesn't seem like it takes much effort for her. Mm-hmm. And she throws Buffy into the tomb with Giles and puts the lid on. So they're kind of stuck in there. And she immediately grabs Willow, because Willow and Xander are following, like, close behind. Grabs Willow and is about to just take her life force.
Yeah, and see, this is the first time she does it to a girl, interestingly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's who's there. And she desperately, like, her whole arms now are, like, mummified. So she's running out of time. So she's like, whoever's around.
Yeah, but Xander saves her.
Yeah, Xander comes in and says, no, you're not gonna, like, do it. And she's like, we can keep going. Like, if I don't, it's the end of me, it's the end of us. We can be together if you let me. And he's like, no, it's not happening. He grabs Willow, and he's like, if you're gonna take anybody's life, you can take mine. Mm-hmm. And she makes a choice she'd rather be alive and kill Xander than the other way around. So she does commit. At that point, she is she doesn't want to, but she knows her back's up against a wall. She has to either take his life or die.
The thing is, when she goes in to do it, she hesitates.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird, like...
I feel like she hesitates.
If he's trying to, like, keep her at bay, like...
I don't know.
Goes on a little too long.
Because I feel like even when, like, he's saying, like, you have to take my life, and she's like, no, because she loves him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, nope, this is your choice. You're not killing her. You have to kill me. And then she's like, okay. And then she goes to do it, and she hesitates. So I feel like, from my point of view, at least, she can't actually do it. Yeah,
it's definitely debatable, because it is a weird, like... I can't really see clearly what's happening. Like, is he pushing her away? Is she trying to force herself on him? Is she hesitating? There's like some weirdness going on there. Definitely could be interpreted different ways. And in the background, we see Buffy, like, bam, bam, like, trying to get out of the tomb.
She gets the tomb lit off.
Yeah, she eventually blows that off and jumps out. And right before their lips are going to touch, Buffy grabs Empata and pulls her away, but her arms stay on Xander, and her arms get ripped off.
So creepy.
Ew, yeah. And like the little pieces of skin that are hanging off at the end. Ugh, like at the end of her, that was actually really gross. And she pulls her off, and like by this point, she is fully mummified.
Yep.
And her face and everything, and Buffy drops her, and she kind of shatters.
Yeah,
so she's dead for good.
And then they just leave.
Yeah, they just somebody else will clean this up.
Like, what?
These are just rotted arms and
whatever. Exactly, and like the tomb lid and the seal and everything.
Yeah,
whatevs.
The night janitor is gonna have a fright. He comes in and sees this. He's gonna be like, "What the heck? I don't get paid enough for this."
Yep.
I underlined "ew" because when he gets his arms, when she gets her arms pulled off, that's nasty. In the hallway, Xander and Buffy are kind of just walking, and Xander's obviously bummed.
He's lamenting that he has the worst taste in women.
Yeah, he's not had good luck. The only, air quotes, normal one that he's liked is just Buffy, and she's not interested in him. And the other two have been like a mummy and a praying mantis. So, yeah, he's not having a good day.
I mean, but Buffy's like, she wasn't all evil at first, at least.
Yeah, it's another comparison between them that she says, like, she wasn't, like, born evil. Like, she kind of felt like her back was against the wall. She said, I wasn't actually as obsessed with doing the right thing when I heard the prophecy that I had to die. And Xander's like, well, the difference is that you did.
Exactly. And she
Like,
says,
you were
and
willing to do it.
I had you to bring me back.
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite scene, actually. I thought this was really cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that she has sympathy for her. She wasn't going to let her just do whatever she needed to do, but...
Yeah, but she empathizes.
She can see the connection between them. Yeah. I mean, they even called her the Chosen One. They called Empata the Chosen One several times, which is, like, definitely Buffy's name, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Like, it's not really fair to have these responsibilities, these duties thrust upon you like that.
Yeah, so Buffy can definitely empathize, but she still had to stop her.
Yeah.
You know? And that's... So Buffy definitely sees herself in Empata, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yep.
That's Inca Mummy Girl. Oh, right.
Steak rating?
Well, I'll do my favorite line and scene.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Yes.
So my favorite line was... No, it's fine. My favorite line was, one day I'm going to live in a town where evil curses are just generally ruled out without even saying.
Wait, when did they say that?
Buffy says that when they're walking up, when they first go and they find the seal, because they're like, it could be an evil curse. And she's like, you know, I just want to like live in a town where that's already just ruled out automatically. You know, like she just like, yeah, I just thought that was good. Okay. And then my favorite scene was the Empata and Buffy when they're in the bedroom. Like we talked about like the trunk opening, the drawer opening, talking about the parallels.
I love that.
Yeah, the parallels between like these young girls expected to give up their life, literally, figuratively, everything, for the good of others. Yeah, all those parallels between them in that scene. That was my favorite.
Okay. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned my favorite line was, what kind of girl travels with a mummified corpse and doesn't even pack lipstick?
Yes, good.
And then, yeah, just my favorite scene. I did really like the end between Buffy and Xander. Just how he highlights that, you know, she had to do something that she didn't want to do. And how she made the right choice, how she did, you know, did what she was supposed to do. She put others before herself, and she, you know, lets him know that she's grateful that he brought her back to life, basically. So just I see the relationship between them, the friendship between them, growing deeper, and I kind of like that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of respect going on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Xander handled this episode well.
He did. His emotional maturity is growing.
Yes. It was the best Xander episode so far.
It really was, yeah.
So my steak rating, okay, I'm going to up it.
What was it? And what is it now?
It was a 3.
It was a 3?
Yeah, but I'm going to give it a 3.8.
Okay.
Move to 3.8. Okay. I like the new, air quotes, villain, like, you know, expanding the universe again. It was the best Xander episode we've had, for sure. The mummy looked good. I think it stood up fairly well. Like, how she looked, like, when Rodney... She was grabbed Rodney and her eyes open, but there was nothing in there. Did you catch that? That was pretty creepy.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, the eyelids open, but there was no eyeballs.
Ooh, ew. Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Like it stood up, and like the arms and everything. Like I think it held up. I think like you could see that today, and you wouldn't be like, oh, that looks so dated.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was good. I loved all the Buffy and Empata parallels.
Yes. Definitely.
And I guess I'm giving it a 3.8 because it's a standalone episode. It doesn't move the ball along for season 2, and it's like, because I know what's coming, I guess that's where the perspective I'm coming with.
Ah, okay.
No Spike, no Angel, no Jenny Calendar.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, those are things I was missing.
Okay.
But it was good. It was good. It basically wasn't like anything it did wrong. It's just like all the things that it was missing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.8.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it because it you know, was different than the vampire world. I didn't mind that it didn't have some of our favorite characters in it. I liked the Empata character. I thought she was really good. And yeah, I kind of liked how she, like most of the characters really are just pure evil, and she's not. Like you see her as an actual normal, well, not normal, but like she was essentially a good person. She just had to make these choices to, you know, keep going.
People will make decisions they never would otherwise to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
And that's
right.
where she was. That's the position she was in. Yeah.
She felt like she didn't have a choice. She didn't have a choice. It was either that or die. So yeah. So I felt like I could empathize with that. Yeah, I liked it. And then I didn't even know this, but just when you were saying this actually was based off of something real. So I thought that's
like an actual mummy that was found.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an actual mummy. So yeah, and I thought the character development was good. Like you said, the parallels between Impada and Buffy, I really like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently she was like found on a volcano, which is cool.
Wow.
The mummy was found on a volcano. Huh. Yeah. And it was only like a few years, like this was 97, that was 95. So it was still like fresh news, I guess, you know.
Yeah, that would be fresh news.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was good. I don't know why I'm giving it such a low score.
Oh yeah, and all the lines were so, like I laughed so much in this episode.
Yeah.
More than any other episode, for sure.
Yeah. Did you like it better than The Witch? Or Witch?
I think so. I think I did like it better than Witch. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. The next one, I think is pretty, if I remember correctly, pretty bottom of the barrel, but we'll get through it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the top, but I think it's definitely on the like bottom 20, I think, ish. I would say.
Okay. What's the name of the next episode? Season 2, episode 5?
Reptile Boy.
Oh, it doesn't sound great. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. It's not, but you know what? We follow it up with a classic. So, so we'll have that to look forward to.
Okay.
All right. So your question for Reptile Boy, is Buffy finds something on the ground in the graveyard. What is it? I'll say it's something. I'll give you a hint. It's something somebody would wear.
A bracelet.
Okay. Oh, see how good my poker face is? I don't know. Could be right. Bracelet.
It's funny because I just looked down and I was just like, bracelet?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
We'll see.
I got the last one wrong.
We'll see.
I said like an aunt or an uncle or cousin.
I said since I knew you had it wrong, I was like, we'll just say family member. You can put all those people together because I knew it wasn't right. So, okay. Bracelet. All right.
Bracelet.
So that wraps up season 2, episode 4, Inca Mummy Girl. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl in All the World Pod. And you can send us an email at onegirlpod@gmail.com. So please go over to your whatever pod listener you're on and give us a review. That would be great. So thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with season 2, episode 5, Reptile Boy. Slay real soon.
Bye.